What is up, T people? Today, 8542, 501 batch. Smells something real nice. You can see quite a bit of damage here to the bean paper. That's okay. Got that 501 there. Let's open this up. Let's see what we got. So the 7742 is on the mind. And if I had to sort of wager a guess, this looks a little bit darker to me. A little bit more of a beat up cake for sure. Interesting kind of indentations on the pressing here. So yeah, definitely interesting. Let's give it a little dry smell sniff. And I think we're looking pretty good here to get started on some pickage. I'm going to work on this side here that's already been, looks like it took a fall somewhere. Seeing a lot of the material as a result of that. So we'll just start digging in there. It looks pretty compressed. Let's make my PhD dissertation on the sonic frequencies and resonance of tea cakes as it relates to compression. There's something there. Okay, yeah, we are trying not to lose any fingers here. Holy Moses. Okay, before I forget, I'm gonna put these under here so that I don't push the paper too much into my desk. And sometimes it gets stuck a little bit, especially with how much pressure I'm putting down on here. Yeah, so wow, compression pretty strong here. Yeah, pretty strong compression. So there we go. A little better in there. It's looking good. Smells really nice. This is hung out in the hot box to get rehydrated. And that'll suffice for now. I don't want to pull out too much because if I do decide, it just needs more time, then it's going to need more time. Handy dandy scale here. Hello. It's kind of a bigger chunk. So better part a little bit there. We are really close. I think this did the same thing last time. I think I'm gonna need a different scale. So it's probably about 5 grams. Win some, you lose some. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get this cleaned up a little bit and get my water reboiled, get the tea tray out. You know the deal. And we're back. So look at that, nice. I say that's definitely darker than the 7742. And maybe even darker than my 502 7542. I'm gonna go 2 rinses here. Excuse me. Hi, everybody. Wow. Nice liqueur. not smelling that retired smoke barbecue. Interesting. So for me, at this point, I kind of think Oolong when I think of that character. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes in terms of strength and the character of this tea in general. That was warm. Brewing up, kind of unsurprisingly, amber. Really sweet and kind of fruity nose on it. Smells less intense to me. Again, double rinse here, but already getting quite a bit of saturation of the color. Smell the Cha Hai. Wow, a lot of barn on the Cha Hai. Smells pretty funky, but so much more sweetness and fruit on the Gaiwan. Kind of a raisin thing as opposed to maybe something more plummy. Now you guys know me, and I think the episode will be out somewhat soon about drinking for evaluation versus pleasure. But I like to do the first steeping here for a little bit longer, and that's after 2 rinses for evaluation here. Sorry everybody. Show everybody a bit more of the color there. Man. Wow, it smells really sweet and fruity. This has that kind of 8582 vibe to me. Interesting. I'm sure it's going to be much more brusque and intense. Still quite a bit of green. Now I do have the super clean and clear looking cup here for today. That barn smell is reduced substantially, leaving more space for kind of hay and not nearly as much kind of animal, maybe like mud as the first sip was there. Man. Still just like in love with these shots. It just makes me so happy. So actually the liqueur is pretty dark. So here we go. Cheers. Immediately already way more in like with this than I am the 7742. Could be the extra couple years of age on it. Maybe. Hard to say. Really strong lasting flavor. Very dynamic already. Just on one sip. Third infusion there. And now you'll notice there, I'm really kind of making sure to get all of the liqueur, all the liquid out of the Gaiwan, excuse me, everybody. Because it's going to hang out for a bit here while I sort of noodle around and think and talk about this one. So the amount of absorption of the leaves and water in the cup here will change fairly substantially. Trying to get a little bit tighter in here. There we are. So nice. Cheers. So much more lively. Ooh. Oh, lost my camera. Be right back. Wow. Okay. So just sitting here with it, I just plug my battery into the camera there, so it really takes no time. So much more lively, so much more expression in this tea. Quite dynamic. It goes sweet. That base depth comes back up to those sweet flavors as the kind of bitterness transforms into and gives way for that sweet Huigon. Infinitely more enjoyable for me than the 7742. I think I rated that kind of like a 6 out of 10. And I don't know when I'm going to be making this announcement. So, but I've been working on something for some people. So if you like to think about your tea and rate your own tea, I have something for you. Second infusion here, but that first one is really just sitting with me or staying with me nice and strong. Come on, you. No? I'm not gonna play ball today. Okay. Well, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. There you go. Yeah, the fruitiness of this is really nice. It has an 8582 top end that transforms in because that depth is definitely there. Quite strong. Quite strong material. Certainly. Yeah, wow. So I can tell my pushing steeping is going to be pretty gnarly, I think, on this one, as one would expect. But second steeping here. Cheers. Ooh, yeah, strong. You know, the sweetness is the first thing. It comes quickly. It's high end. It's fruit. Not a lot of hay in the cup. More woody. I'm not getting really any funk. There's no diesel. Not really any retired smoke that I'm getting either. A lot of high end fruit. Really sweet, but definitely feeling the astringency. And there's a sourness to this that reminds me a bit more of the 06 7542 I have. That was I think it was Guangzhou storage. I don't really remember. That's from Taobao purchase. Lasting sweetness that comes and stays. Wow, really incredible. You know, this is kind of one of those teas that strikes me as between a 7542 and an 8582 in a way that I actually really like. I like the balance of it. I like the depth of this. It's really strong. It's quite intense. The astringency is there. The depth is there. It's not warming, maybe for me at least. It's kind of cooling. I'm a little invigorated, but maybe that's partially because of the dynamic nature of this one. Yeah. That sweet wood that I love that can remind me of semi-roasted oolongs. Oh, this I like. And for the price, this is a heck of a buy. I think this was $65 on the group buy. Man, wish I had more of this already. Gonna give this kind of an 8. I think this could become a 9 with time. I think that sourness needs to chill out a little bit and give way, but it's really quite pleasant today. Okay, I'm gonna let this one hang out and push it just a little bit, which does not need. Again, I'm using maybe over 5 grams of leaf, probably. Guy 1 is quite full. So pushing that one a little bit. Wow. Really bold, strong flavor. And I'll get in here a little bit here as well and just try to show everybody roughly how much leaf is being used here. So there's not too much void space to the top of the lid of the Guy 1. Really. Look at that material too. Actually really beautiful. You can see with that green, I think that's coming, you know, some of those fruity notes are kind of coming out of that. But I'm not getting a lot of green flavor. When I mean green again, I'm talking that kind of complex of fresh cut grass down to deep desert sage, hay, yerba mate, that then sort of drops off out of the green character, I think, into some kind of transforming into more wood. And this to me, I think, has maybe hints of some hay notes, but not too much. Really pleasant. So a bit darker. Yeah, yeah, a fair bit darker here. Go ahead and show this on the camera as well. Get a close up, excuse me. You can see that. Really nice. Okay. Third steeping, we've pushed this one, give it about 15 seconds. Again, we're brewing for evaluation, not for pleasure on this one, because I'm expecting, just by virtue of the intensity of the ongoing flavor I'm experiencing, that this is going to be a little intense. Cheers. You know, I don't hate it this way though. It's strong, but it's maybe just now veering on that acrid bitterness, but ooh. Yeah, this to me is a kind of 7 of 10 in terms of bitterness today, at least the way that I'm brewing it, but it's really nice. The sweetness is crazy high, like 8 of 10 sweet, really sweet. Not nearly as earthy as 7542 in my own estimation. A little jaw clenching with the intensity on that one. You know, the thing about it though is that the high end is so voluminous and intense that it really does balance and gives rather a lot of a lot there. It's not just bitter. There's a lot of sweetness too, which for me pretty important. I don't want something to just taste when I'm pushing these ones. A little grapey. Yeah, much earthier in the Guy one now. Maybe some of those little sugars have started to melt away a little bit. Really warming in the body. Fairly kind of neutral and maybe slightly cooling in the mouth. Now tasting it deeper, which yeah, I'm pretty bullish on this one. It's really nice. Yeah, and as you'll see on the camera here, I am adding just a hair, bumping the saturation just a little bit to create a little bit more variance in the cup in terms of the colors of this tea. So the green that you're seeing is just a little greener than what you would see in the eye, I think, in person. Man, there's some like really awesome fruit roll-up-y, like kind of like fruit leather, raspberry in this. Oh, wow, what a treat. Okay. This is a buy for your boy for sure. You can see that it's definitely a little lighter than the last one that we just had. That I just had. Sorry, keep doing that. Yeah, the barn's back on that, on the Chahai. Interesting. Which I typically, so I'm really not tasting it in the cup, but I typically am like, ooh, you know, I'm not necessarily into that. Wow, just continues to continue to taste this, and the depth on this, definitely astringent. I'm actually gonna have a little sip of water. Sorry about that. You know it's a bitter tea when the water tastes sweet. Cheers. More middle notes. Maybe even a very slight hint of vanilla. Much more dynamic than the 7742. Wow, this is really... Oh, strong. It's really strong. It's astringent. It's sweet. It's bassy. I like this one a lot. Not gonna lie. I'm really excited for the comparison between this, the 7742, and the 7542. I think that'll be a really fun blinded episode, so stay tuned for that. Before then, in next episode, I swear, I will be doing the Bada brick, the ripe tea. People have requested a bunch. I might even just film it and then release it early, just because there's been enough requests on that one that I want to just get out to people. So that'll be a change up, but then I will go back and probably do a comparison of that. In fact, I might bring, depending on timing here, another special guest who you've heard of. His name is James, on, because I believe that James has the 2003 version of the 7742, so I'm really excited to see the comparison of those. That he also got from this group buy. Wow, the strength on this one is pretty crazy. This one, I think, blows the 7742 out of the water in comparison for me and my preferences. Everyone has their own taste and preferences, though. Again, this to me has higher fruit, better wood on it. It has more dynamic expansion, bigger body feel. I don't like the flavors of like a really vanilla-y and kind of like rosewood as much. This to me just has kind of hits all of my buttons. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you like this, click some buttons, do some things. Hope you are trying different cakes. Whew, I'm getting hyped on this one. Got some sweat running down the back. You know it's a good time. And rendering me slightly useless in my mind. So I'm going to leave it there. Until next time. Peace.